Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and it's new old comic book day for me, or old new comic book day for me. So we're talking books from what, 2 weeks ago? This is 2 weeks ago. This is last week. See, it's bundled. I haven't even opened this one yet. Partially due to shipping problems. These books, which I should have gotten in 3 days, took almost 10. The post office lost them for a while, so that was fun. These actually, I think, would have technically came on time. These books I will talk about hopefully this Saturday, Comic Book Roundtable. This is the pack. This is the book that's got like Batman 50, and I still haven't read. I haven't read Batman 50. And guess what? Still hasn't been spoiled for me yet. I have great friends, I guess, or something, and I made a point of not looking at stuff. But anyway, so this is 2 weeks ago. It was a massive poll. 20 books? Seems like more than 20 books. I think that's because some of the books are thick. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about these besides just showing them, because I haven't talked about books in, I don't know, a couple of weeks, it feels like. So I'm going to talk about some books. Some of them very briefly, but this is my poll from 2 weeks ago on top of that. So the Terrifics, I've been saying this for a while now. This really is the last issue that I'm getting. I had quit it. I'd taken it off my poll, but I've still been getting it because that's how far in advance I guess I pre-ordered it. I don't care for it. I don't care for it at all. The art is fine, but it doesn't have an interesting story, and the art isn't compelling enough to make up for the lack of story. And I don't know if it's the whole being done the Marvel way, where I don't know, the artists are drawing a story, and then Jeff Lemire is left to try and write a dialogue around the story that's already there, or exactly what. But I just don't care for it. I like the characters, not necessarily the character interpretation in this book. Plastic Man's fine. I don't really care for Metamorpho's characterization. I'm not real big fan of Mr. Terrific's characterization either, really. So there you go. As far as that goes, don't even dig in that long. The book that only comes out like, I don't know, what, every 6 months or something like that. Last Song. It's by Holly Landy, and Sally Carantino does the artwork on it. It is a super thick book for $4.99, but I mean it is dense. And it's about this band, really, these two guys that make up a band, and they are just kind of exploded now. They're popular. They've had a relationship that is as best friends with some potential romantic or love interest between the two of them that hasn't been acknowledged. Gets acknowledged at the end of this issue. I just really enjoyed it. It's just kind of an interesting kind of a slice of life sort of a story. The art you see on the cover is basically art that's inside. It's not mind-blowing, but very serviceable to tell a story that's being told in it. I actually really enjoy it, and as often as it doesn't come out, it's fine. The price, and it's as big as it is. So yeah. Anyway, Hellblazer issue number 23. I think there's one more issue after this. I'm not 100% positive if I haven't ordered. I did not read this. I started to read it and decided, you know what, I've got too many other comics to read, and this is on the verge of uncomfortable for me to read because I care for it that little. So hopefully they'll reboot Hellblazer again and make it a good comic. Stray Bullets, Sunshine and Roses 36 is excellent as always. We get introduced to this love character here, who is kind of a hippie sort of guy who runs one corner of the drug market in Baltimore in the early 80s. He's all about psychedelics. That's what he sells and stuff. But clearly he has a past. He has a past of being this machete-wielding, gun-toting, vicious person. He's kind of put that behind him, and he has to go back to that, which is somewhat interesting. And yeah, as always, Stray Bullets, Sunshine, just Awesome, awesome stuff. Enjoy it all the time. This is the official issue #1 of Shadow Road. If you pick up the new comic book version of it, it is the same thing. I wanted to pay for it also because I'm silly that way. So I have both versions, the new comic book day version and this. It's the same story in both. Excited to see them dip back into the Six Gun universe. And I'm looking forward to checking out and seeing what exciting thing it has in its store. So excited for that. The end of Black Cloud. This is issue number 10. This is the end. Not the best ending. It feels like clearly they, I don't know, book didn't sell or something like that. I can't imagine that this is what they just decided this was going to be the end. There should have been way more story, but kind of gets neatly cleaned up as best it can, and they walk away from everything. So yeah, and not much Hinkle art in this issue, a little bit here and there. I think largely supported by Patel, I think. And you could tell the faces aren't exactly the same, stuff like that, I don't believe. So anyway, it was an okay run. Much more fun at the beginning. The whole dream and storytelling aspect of the of this book was cool. And then kind of, I'm almost say it lost its way. It just kind of, they reached a point where it's okay, we need to finish this up. And so they just kind of sidestepped a lot of stuff, it feels like. So, yeah. Anyway, issue 31 of Ms. Marvel, which is technically their issue 50. So they treat it that way. It's a little bigger. Tell some fun story. Ms. Marvel's been good. It's back on track of being good. In this issue, she pretty much cops to having feelings for Bruno, her childhood friend, who of course was dating Mikey here at one point. So there's that kind of, how do you handle that when you're friends with somebody or want to be friends with somebody, but at one point you did date or were gonna date or might want to date, sort of thing. And she admits to her group of female friends that she is Ms. Marvel, and they all already know. They've known for a long time, and they didn't say anything because they thought that maybe she needed time to talk about it. And I like that. That was a fun aspect of the story went on. So Ms. Marvel continues to be quite enjoyable. I finally get my copy of the issue of Weatherman, which is probably a month old. I think like books that came out this week. I think Weatherman issue #2 finally is out this week. So it's a long it took for me to get my issue. Wonderful Nathan Fox artwork. Dave Stewart does an excellent job of coloring it like Nathan Fox colors his own stuff. So that was really cool. It has that kind of vibe to it. Jody Laptop is the writer on the book. It's set in Mars in like 27 or something like that is the year. No, 2770 on Mars. I really like the artwork. Like I said, I like the inking style, I like the vibe of it and whatnot. There has clearly been some sort of great catastrophe. There's this giant memorial for some massive death that happened. We don't know much about it other than it's kind of hanging there in the background. And then we get introduced to this character who is the Weatherman, that everybody loves him. He's kind of this, goofy, schmoozy kind of a guy that, does the clicking his fingers and pointing his fingers at the camera as he talks to the people about the weather and all kinds of other absurdity. Kind of, he's like a gonzo weatherman, sort of a thing. And he gets up into all kinds of antics on the air, and people love him because of that. There seems to be some bounty hunters that are going after a target. He seems to be the target. He has this girlfriend that he's going like a second date with and whatnot. And they have some awkward conversations about some things. And then he's attacked by these bounty hunters. And you find out that his girlfriend is actually some sort of police officer, FBI person that helps protect him as much as possible. And yeah, there's some really cool action moments here. These guys are shooting. These guys are like, I don't know, government agents that are trying to protect the Weatherman. They're shooting bullets at this bounty hunter cowboy guy, and he's shooting his guns back, and he actually shoots their bullets out of the air, high cinema, kind of stuff and whatnot. And then they end up saving him. And then you find out that at the very end of it, he doesn't want to remember or can't remember very well about his past. And at the very end, after they save him, the government agent fake girlfriend government agent informs him that he's being arrested for the death of 9 billion people or something like that. So he's somehow responsible for this memorial thing that's going on, which may be the death of Earth, possibly. So yeah, I really liked the first issue. It was exciting, had some interesting stuff going on in it. So I'm really interested and intrigued to see what that ends up being like. So Detective Comics 983 with the new creative team on the book. Hill writing it and Medusa doing the artwork. Outnumbered, outgunned, guest starring Black Lightning. So Batman seems to be gathering some sort of ground team that he wants to have. He has some contact with the Justice League in this, and the Justice League is like offering, well, we can help you do it. And he's like, no, this is how it needs to be. I need to have these kind of people on the ground and doing their part and whatnot. And one of the people he's trying to enlist is Black Lightning, who's not totally game, but ends up being game towards the end of it. So I don't know. Is this like the beginning of the building of a new Outsiders? I have no idea. But it wasn't bad. I enjoy it. I like the character, so I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm curious to see how they're going to continue to handle Detective Comics. Is it going to be less Batman and more of these other people? So it's kind of a mulligan on Brave and the Bold, or what? By continuing to have these other guest stars in the book, or that sort of stuff. I don't know how long Hill is on the book writing it. We'll see how it goes. Batgirl. This is issue number 24. Aldred and Golwicki are doing the writing and art on the book. They are the ones that had the Vertigo title a couple of years ago, The Dark and the Bloody, which is interesting to have them doing a horror comic and then them doing a comic with a Two-Face in it. This is all right. Nothing too special. I'm already missing the Hope Larson books. I really enjoyed her version of the book. I'm curious to see what goes forward with Batgirl. I haven't enjoyed it. This isn't bad. I like Two-Face, so that's cool. But yeah, well, I'm just kind of get a sense of who the new people are. They're going to be on the book and what they're going to do with it will determine how, if I stay with the book or I end it. I'm not such a huge Batgirl fan that I have to read Batgirl regardless of what is there. It occurs to me here for a second. I'm going to flip over real quick. I am live. The off chance there's somebody making comments, I kind of forgot to pop up my comment bar. So let me do that real quick, and then I'll get back to actually talking to people. Hey, there we go. Good enough. All right. So her Infernal Descent. Not as excited about this book as I was when issue 1 first came out. I like Dante's Inferno. I like things that refer to Dante's Inferno and play with the ideas in Dante's Inferno. And this kind of does in a way, but hell is filled with popular people. Andy Warhol is on one level of hell in this place. And in this issue, she has to get a soup can from Andy Warhol. And to do that, she has to retrieve something that Andy would like, basically kind of in return to get paid for the soup can. So she goes on a semi-adventure. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how much longer I will keep with the book. There are aspects of it I like, but I'm not totally engrossed. And I get a lot of books, so I need to start being a little more careful about just buying everything, right? Of course, I got a lot of books that are ending, because Black Cloud was ended this week, and this is another book that ends this week. Motherland's issue number 6. This is the end of this. I really enjoyed this. I really like the ending of it. She gets some level of closure with her mother in the issue. The art continues to be great. There's some good one-liners in here. There's some relatively poignant kind of stuff that give you the feels along with the action that is in the book. So I definitely enjoyed it. And of course, now it'll be out in trade, so you can check it out there. Next up, we have Saga. I have a question about this cover. Does this cover not look as good as a lot of the other covers? I mean, I know it's a close-up of just the Will's hand, so it's not quite so intriguing. But even that, doesn't it look kind of flat and lifeless? It doesn't have the shine to it of a good Fiona Staples cover and whatnot. I don't know. It's like they forgot to turn the gloss on or something about it. It doesn't have any life to it. So anyway, super exciting issue as always. There's some insane stuff that goes on this, some murder and mayhem, and who knows what's going to be next. I am intrigued. Half the people are on one part of the island trying to escape, and on the other half, the Will has Prince 4 at Lance Point, and Marcus is there trying to talk him down without being violent. So who knows how it's all going to play out. As always, Saga is brilliant. Just, I don't know, something about that cover just seems off to me in comparison to what they have been. Issue number 6 of A Raven, Daughter of Darkness. So in this issue, we kind of wrap up this kind of beginning story arc with Trigon and the daughters of Trigon, which I really enjoyed, and it set the groundwork for the next 6 issues of this 12-issue miniseries, which is going to reintroduce Night Force, which is an old Marv Wolfman creation. So looking forward to the exploration of that again. The art in it is quite good. I really like Mon's art. I really like the way he draws this Jaguar. Yeah, Jaguar there is really cool. I like his version of Raven. I like this version of Raven. She's not hanging with the Teen Titans. She is staying with her aunt. She's kind of exploring what it's like to be a normal person living a normal life as much as possible. She doesn't want to be religious, but she's not turning away from that. Her aunt is very Christian, goes to midnight mass, Christmas time and all that kind of stuff. So she's participating in all that just out of curiosity and interest to see what that is. And I'm enjoying that kind of, small exploration of that part of it, along with the crazy fights with Trigon as Trigon tries to bust his way into Earth and steal all of his power and stuff. And she fights it back, and that stuff's interesting. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the Raven book. It's good stuff. Young Animals, Mother Panic, Gotham AD, issue number 4. We get a full introduction to this version of the Joker, who has basically beaten the old Joker to death almost. And Mother Panic is fighting back against that. The consortium is freaking out that she is there and is disrupting their hold over Gotham. I don't know. How does it end in 2 issues? I don't see how it can end in 2 issues and give us a full story. So I hope at some point we'll see more Mother Panic down the road. And we can explore more of her character, because I really like Violet quite a bit. So, Sex Criminals, issue number 25. I love this cover just because it's all part of that there. We get kind of a deep dive into more of Susie and Johnny's issues and how they're going to come together and how they're going to deal with the bigger bad in their lives. And they've kind of make up in this issue to some degree, which is awesome because I love them as a couple. They're just a lot of fun. Good, fun antics of the typical type for sex criminals. So yeah. The last issue of Aster City, that is a monthly issue number 52. So this is off my poll also. I'll probably pick up the trades come out, because they're going to come out now. Well, I shouldn't call them trades. They're going to come out as original graphic novels, OGNs, which will be cool, because I think now you can write a story that has that in mind. Instead of trying to hit a story for the trade, you can just and write it in a way that does single issues. You can just write a full book. So I think you can tell things differently, and I think that Kurt Busiek has an understanding of how to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. And this is a fine end to the series. I continue to enjoy it. So sad it's done, but cool that it'll be in that kind of trade format. That's originally how I read Astro City. The original stuff was in trade format. So getting a big thick book of it will be cool. Let's see. I'm gonna put some of these out of order. So Blackwood, this is issue number 2. This is just a fun, kind of a crazy 80s horror story of kids that get scholarships to go to this college, and when they get there, they find out it's a school of the weird, a school of the supernatural. And are they sacrifices, or are they there to help fight the dark arts. Who knows, kind of a thing. So yeah, but it's fun. 2 more issues of it. Looking forward to checking that out and see what that's like. Wicked and Divine is another one of those issues that potentially, depending on your viewpoint on dollars per page and what are you getting out of it, maybe this is an issue that might upset you. I enjoyed it because I don't mind the big, long cinematic shots of whatever that is. This issue largely has a big chunk of that because we get a moment early on where we have a scene that's set in the past where Ananka is blowing some people up and collecting some heads. And it is, 3127 BC, before Christ. So that's a really long time ago. And some stuff happens to her. And then we get lots and lots of pages of these 9-panel grids that just have dates on them. And I mean, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 pages, half a comic, most comics, of just that before we get an end to this part, this chapter, kind of a thing. So that might have been a bit much in the dramatic effect. So I don't know as far as that goes. The end of this issue has some awesome, awesome artwork, some hugely dramatic fights between the Morgan and Ball and some of their stuff. And there are more fatalities in this issue, which is nuts. I think we're down to like five people are all that's left of the gods. So I'm really curious to see how that all plays out in the end. Somebody dies, somebody gets resurrected. So I don't know. It's some exciting stuff. So we'll see how that how that works out. I don't know. We're down to, I don't know, like 6 issues, I think, or less of the Wicked and Divine. Excellent stuff. If you haven't started reading it, read it in trade. It's got to be a brilliant read and trade. And finally, from 2 weeks ago, Killer Be Killed, issue number 20, the final issue. And I have to say, this is a really, really mixed bag for me as far as an ending issue. Part of me reads this and still thinks that I would have been much happier if this had ended at 19, with how issue 19 ends. That I would have been I think I would have liked that most versus what we got here. Because what we got here is yep, that was the ending. It all sucks. Life sucks. That's what happens. And then we get this kind of, oh no, here's a new ending. This is because that other ending would have sucked. So this is the real ending, kind of a thing. And we get this kind of, what it would have been like, because you find out that that's really not the ending, because that's not how endings work. The kind of the romantic ending. That's not how endings work. It sucks. We're dead. You're not supposed to know that, but death sucks. Whatever. The middle part, I actually kind of like the middle part, kind of talking about the small moments in life. You grab those small moments in life, and I'm on board for that brief moment. And then we get into this conversation with his girlfriend Kira and the police detective that he saves at the end of the story, and they have a conversation, and then the narration suddenly becomes her narration and ends with kind of a, oh no, it's someplace else now. And I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that aspect of it one bit. So the beginning of this issue, I didn't like, because I was like, oh man, it would have been better off to have ended the last issue. There's a middle chunk in there, kind of talking about the sweet things in life or whatever. I like that sentiment. And then at the end of it, it then makes me once again wish that it had ended at 19 with just a death, and that'd be the end. Because that'd be fine. That'd be the fatality of it all. And we would have been fine. Or they could have added a couple extra pages to the end of issue 19 that had the good stuff in this one and left it at that. So was it horrible? No. I'm just saying that the way this wrapped up and ended, my feelings on it, I would have enjoyed it more if it was the other way around. Okay. I'm going to blow through the second part of this really quick, because, of course, these are books that I haven't read. These are books from last week. These are books that I'll talk about on Saturday. Hopefully I am awake then. New job has just been killing me. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I have to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. So boo hiss. 12 issues this week. Let's jump right into it with what? Paper Girls. Paper Girl, Paper Girl. Talk about the Paper Girl. Paper Girl issue number 22. Love that cover. That white going off from there. Always a brilliant, brilliant book. Super excited. Awesome Cliff Chang artwork. Matt Wilson colors. And, of course, Brian came out writing it. Who knows where this is going to go next. We're set in the future. Got some interesting bits and pieces moving and whatnot. So I'm super excited about that. We have The Quantum Age. This is yet another spinoff from the world of Black Hammer. I believe this is set in the future of the superheroes and what's going on with them. Jeff Lemire written, Wilfred Torres on art, Dave Stewart on colors, of course. Like the cover. If the art inside is like the cover, I'm going to be digging it, I think. So looking forward to checking out that new spinoff. The last spinoff from Black Hammer was excellent. The Stargirl one. So, yes, I love Atlanta. Atlanta's an awesome show. So, yes, every time I get Paper Girl, I don't know, I have to sing that. Anyway, Shade the Changing Woman, issue number 5. Only one more issue of this. So I don't know where this book's going to go. Because like I've talked about before with this book, you know, she's got to get her heart back in her so she has some feelings so she can deal with the rest of the baggage that's been left over from the whole Shade the Changing Girl stuff. And last issue, she was looking for her heart, and she did it all in a few pages, and it felt like that could have been an adventure. That could have been an arc in its own. So once again, it feels like that they're rushing to close up the Young Animal books. So, but still looking forward to reading it. Cecil Castelli, the writer, and Marley Zarcone. Books they're working on, I'm going to pick up from here on out. So I hope to see more of Cicely writing comic books. I really loved the way Shade the Changing Girl was. So I'll be checking it out. Gravediggers Union, issue number 8. If this isn't the last issue, I think next issue is the last issue, as the apocalypse comes rolling in, as the Uber ghost tornado crashes across the United States and starts consuming everything. The cultists have to sacrifice a space monkey, and the Gravediggers Union is trying to keep the space monkey alive. They refer to it as a space monkey. I don't know. It's like some ancient man that's like been hidden in the jungle this whole time or something. But at any rate, they're trying to save that sacrifice to keep basically the old ones from bursting out and consuming all of life and all these things. So, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, Jazz Maynard. This is issue number 6 of volume 2. Excuse me, got a tickle in my throat. This is Three Crows Part 2. The last issue, Part 1, was kind of starting to tell the story of like Jazz Maynard, the character Jazz Maynard, as him as a young man being trained as a super thief. So I think we're kind of getting some of his backstory to help us understand why now he's a government agent, you know, working for the Iranian government to steal this like golden apple, which is some ancient artifact that was removed from Iraq. No, I'm sorry, removed from Iran during the Iraq War or whatnot. There's a bunch of stuff going on, and things were kind of lots of moving targets were going on, and this ancient artifact from the cradle of civilization was taken. So, book I really like. I really like the artwork in it. I love the jazz references that are always in each issue. You know, we get some cool jazz lyrics kind of thrown in there, whatnot, and I'm keen about that stuff. So look forward to checking that out. And like I said, I still have to get back to hunting backwards and find the first volume of Jazz Maynard, whether it's in trade or in single issues, because I like it. I like the hi-fi stuff and it's just got the right kind of vibe for me. So I'm looking for that. There it is, the infamous issue number 50, the wedding issue. Like I said, I don't know. I have my own ideas what I think is going to happen. I've read a lot of comic books throughout my life, so corporate comics don't surprise me a whole lot. So we'll see. I look forward to checking it out myself. I know lots of people who absolutely hated the book. I'm going to be talking about this book in particular. I have people coming on the show Saturday Luke's going to come back. He's a big Batman reader. I know he's done some videos on this already. I haven't watched this because I don't want this spoiled for me. But I'll be talking at least with him about the what is the Batman 50, the wedding issue, and all that stuff. So I look forward to that because I always look forward to actually be able to face-to-face talk comic books with people, especially ones that people have lots of mixed feelings about. So looking forward to that. Captain America issue number 1. Not necessarily a big Captain America fan, but I'm really curious to see what Coates does with the book. So I'm looking forward to that. That's the biggie here, is how is he going to address Captain America? I've listened to him kind of talk about why he's doing Captain America. I've read a little bit on why he's doing Captain America. Some aspects of that I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know. You're exploring something that I don't think needs to be explored. And other parts I'm really interested in his potential exploration. I mean, what do you do when the American dream seems busted? Or what used to work as the American dream in the 1940s when he was a young man, how does that translate now in 2018 where the American dream seems like it's a much different sort of a thing? So those kinds of aspects of storytelling, I think I will be very, very much interested in. Deathstroke, issue number 33. So it's like just past the halfway point of the Deathstroke versus Batman storyline with the, oh no, whose kid is Damian? Is he Batman's or is he Deathstroke's? And every issue Slade's like, no, it's seriously, it's not me, kind of thing. And I believe him. And I don't know, this story seems kind of not that cool and kind of pointless as opposed to what originally maybe it might have been. I don't feel like there's any threat to the legacy that Damian is Batman's kid. So yeah, whatever that is, not super excited to read that. Hasn't really intrigued me a whole lot. So book I'm definitely looking forward to checking out is Catwoman issue number 1, written and drawn by Jolene Jones, which her art is phenomenal. So I'm super excited about that. Laura Allred doing the colors. So it's basically going to be Catwoman that looks like largely like Lady Killer, and Lady Killer is an awesome book. So I do like this issue because I like the fact that they took and put the graphics of the wedding issue on this. So clearly I need to read the wedding issue first and then read Catwoman, but I'm super excited because I like Selena Kyle. I like the Catwoman character. I like large portions of a lot of the runs of Catwoman. So to have Catwoman coming back, I'm super excited about it, especially with the creator that's on it. So very excited for that. Issue number 3 of the Justice League. I really dug the first 2 issues a lot. So I'm looking forward to this issue too. This is another Jimenez drawn issue. So I know it's going to be excellent art-wise. So I'm super excited for that. I've been digging the storytelling. It's like there's been 2 narrators depending on what's going on. One of the narrators seems to be Martian Manhunter. The other narrator seems to be Lex Luthor. And we've got the Legion of Doom versus the Justice League starting to happen. So I'm excited for all of that. So intrigued by that stuff. I'm happy to be reading a Justice League book and enjoying it again. It's been quite a while. Actually, I don't think I've really liked Justice League since before the New 52. I mean, when the New 52 hit, that's when I started disliking Justice League. And the Immortal Hulk issue number 2. I thought issue number 1 was all right. It wasn't as much of a horror story as what I expected it to be, but it was still mostly enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to checking out number 2. This is a book that I figure I'll go 3 or 4 issues on before I'm going to be either 100% sold on or decide I don't want to check out anymore. So anyway, yeah, a Marvel book. I have a Marvel book. So yay for me. Anyway, those books I just talked about, I'll be talking on Saturday. Be talking some comics then. At any rate, until then, have a great one. I've got a couple days to get these books read so I can talk about those. And I think tomorrow, I should, if not tomorrow, Saturday, I should get this week's comics. So you'll see another video from me where I actually will say, hey, look, it's really new comic book day for me. So anyway, thanks you guys for watching live and everybody who watches after the facts. What do you think of the books I talked about? Kill or Be Killed. Where are you at with that book? Or Wicked and Divine. That's super long, 10 pages of panels of dates. What's that like for you? Anyway, Have a great one, and I will catch you guys in a couple days.